I saw from Twitter that you've been into 6 cities recently. There is a lot of Russian propaganda on their state TV. You have countered it and said you are not seeing any sign of panic by the citizens of Ukraine.
That's right. What you see is a lot of fear, certainly, but also a lot of resolve. I've been bouncing around the country, and what you see in all of these places, from large cities to small towns, are people out in the streets. They're filling sandbags. They're building these tank barriers. They're getting their regions and localities ready for any possible Russian assault. I arrived in Odessa here yesterday, and the city truly looks like it's a movie set for a World War II movie. There's military everywhere. Sandbags are going up. The center of the city is blocked off. People are turning a local food hall into a clinic or a hospital. I spoke to local officials here. They're expecting that there might be some kind of attack from Russian naval forces that are based out on the Black Sea. Odessa is Ukraine's largest port city on the Black Sea. I was in Kharkiv about 3 days ago, right where the blast went off this morning. People are taking shelter. They're living in the subway because of the constant bombardment from Russian forces. All this goes against what has been prevalent in Russian government TV, on Russian propaganda channels, that somehow the Ukrainians would greet this type of Russian attack as a liberation of their country. That's just not anything that I'm seeing.
Well, there's a lot of video and photo of these this 40-some mile long train of military personnel, tanks, armored cars heading what is believed to be into Kyiv. Michael, that's on our side. What are you hearing on the ground there? What are the Ukrainian media saying about this Russian convoy that we're showing again on our TV here? It just does appear to be very long, very heavily armed, and likely on its way to Kyiv.
It's looking pretty ominous. What we saw on the first word, day 6 into the war, what everybody was expecting when this war kicked off last week is that there would be a massive artillery bombardment. There would be a massive operation to quickly seize key regions of the country, get a hold on Kyiv, block the capital off from the country, and really try to force a political concession, either by toppling the government in Kyiv or so threatening that government's existence that they would be forced to make concessions. That seems to not have come to pass. The Russian military appears to have stumbled, and now the fear is that they are going to redouble their efforts and come in with the massive force that has been missing for the last few days.
And Michael, just to wrap it up, because you have been there, and by the way, stay safe. We appreciate your reporting. You've met many Ukrainians in your time, no doubt. It is one thing to come in with military to a city. It is another thing to take it over from the people. People will fight even on their own. What can you tell us about the will of the Ukrainian people, not military, but individual citizens that you have met?
That was the biggest question going into this war, is how the Ukrainians react. And everywhere that you go, you see Ukrainians gathering weapons in central squares, joining territorial defense forces. I was in Dnipro a few days ago, where they're collecting what looked like tens of thousands of bottles to be turned into Molotov cocktails. And so, there are large numbers of people that are also fleeing to the west to get out of harm's way. But there are many, many more people who are staying and will fight for their towns and villages if necessary.